and welcome back to my channel. Today I filmed this look featuring the new Kat Von D Saint and Sinner palette, and I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a review, let you guys know what I think about it. Kat Von D is one of my favorite brands, and definitely my favorite brand aesthetically, and I really try to buy every new release from her, even though it's really hard because a girl is broke. But this was a palette that I knew that I needed to get my hands on as soon as I saw it on her Instagram. And I do work at Sephora, and when we got it in, I saw it sitting on the shelf, and for a couple of days I really just pondered buying it. It's $60, and that is a fat chunk of coin for someone like myself. And I really was like, man, is it really worth it? I decided just to splurge because, you know, treat yourself 2017, I guess. And I do have to say that I think it was worth it because of the amount of shadows you get and the variety that you get with the palette. There's so many different looks that you can get, like completely different cool, warm, day, night looks. So for that reason, I do think it's worth it. Quality-wise, the palette does rank up there with some of my favorite palettes. When I'm looking at what makes a good quality palette for me, I need a good blend of pigmentation as well as blendability. And there are a few other things that I look out for, but those are the two main things, and I think that this palette does have that really good blend. Sometimes I feel like the makeup community Sometimes I feel like the makeup community decides if a palette or a shadow is quality based off of whether or not it's pigmented or how pigmented it is, and I don't believe that pigmentation has a direct correlation to quality, as I've discovered with a couple of palettes this year. No shade, but I've kind of just experienced some shadows that were just so pigmented that they don't blend, and I don't feel like this palette has that problem. I feel like I'm going to be able to reach for it. I'm going to want to pick it up every day because it's easy to use and I've got a lot of variety. So that's pretty much what I have to say about it. In terms of the positives, the color scheme obviously is incredible. I love a good pop of color, and this one's got obviously tons. I'm a sucker for really good colorful looks, but I feel like you could get a couple of really good natural looks out of this too. I will say that if you're somebody that's more into natural looks, this palette might have a little bit less variety for you, but I feel like the colors really are just gonna look good on everyone. But that's my opinion, and I like really colorful looks. On the downsides about the palette, so mine came kind of messed up. Obviously, I've used this. This isn't my first time using it, but this shade right here, if you can tell, it's kind of crooked in the pan, but that's just probably my palette. I do have to say though that these two topper shades up here, Absolution and Rapture, were really hard to work with. They didn't really perform as I wanted them to. I know that Kat did specify herself that these colors will take a little bit of extra love to get the kind of sort of desired effect, but it's just not really practical. I'm a busy person and I don't have time to sit there and wet my brush, wet my finger, and like pack it on, try not to make it look patchy, and that's kind of what I had to do. I do like how it turned out in the end, but I do wish that it performed more a little bit like a foiled shadow rather than a really translucent glitter. And that's how those two do kind of perform, but I will say that I do like that they're sheer so that you can throw them on top of other colors and it won't block out those colors, so I like that. Other than that, I really do like the packaging. I feel like it's very unique packaging. Obviously, we haven't seen anything like that. I feel like it's decently sturdy. These here, these little mirrors might start to bend as the time goes on, but that's just why you gotta take care of it. And I do like that it's got the shade names on the back. Not quite sure why it's necessary when they're on the front of the palette, but I guess it's better than having nothing on the back. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about it. I'm glad that I picked it up because I love the color scheme. I think that I will get a lot of use out of it, and so ultimately that's pretty much all I care about is the result and will I use it, and the answer is yes. So I'm super glad. I know $60 is a bit of a high price, but it's there for the quality, and there's a lot of shadows in this. It's a holiday release, so sometimes the prices are just kind of up there with things like that, but I mean, come on, sometimes you just gotta splurge a little bit, and I feel like this is one of those palettes that you can really splurge on and know that you're getting a good value. So that's my opinion on it. Before we get into the tutorial, I just wanted to remind you guys to hit subscribe below this video. I would love to have you stick around. It helps a girl out so much if you subscribe. All right, well, I think it's time to stop babbling. If you guys want to see how I did this look and all the products that I used, then make sure to stick around for the tutorial. Okay, so to start off, I'm going to take the matte orange shade in the palette called Devil and use that as a transition shade. It is a little bit dark for a transition shade for me, so I'm just going to make sure to use a really light hand and really build up the color so that it's nice and diffused and it gives the rest of the shadows a really nice base to blend into. I'm using a Morphe M441 for that, which is my favorite blending brush, and I'm just making sure that there's no harsh lines. Then taking this matte brown shade called Crucifix, I'm going to start to blend that into the crease using a Morphe M139, which is my favorite crease brush. I'm going to focus that into the outer V to build up definition there first. And then I'm just going to make sure not to blend that out as high or as far out as the orange shade. Then I'm just blending them all together, making sure that the orange and the brown blend together seamlessly. Then I'm just going to start to drag that Crucifix shade into the crease to build up some definition in there using that same brush. Once again, just not going to blend it up as high, and that'll just start to create that really nice gradient effect. After that, I'm going to start to cut my crease, but I'm not going to drag it out all the way across my eye. It's going to be a half cut crease look. I'm using a number 9 brush from the BH Cosmetics Crystal Quartz set, and just making sure that that line is nice and really sharp and precise. This brush is great for that. And then once that line is done, I'm just going to start to fill in that lid with the rest of the concealer. After I'm done cutting the crease, I'm going to take the shade Rosary, which is a foiled pinky sort of red shadow, and I'm going to pack that onto the lid using my finger. We all know that foiled shadows are applied best with a finger. And then after that, I'm going to take Stigmata, which is a true red foiled shadow, and also pack that onto the lid with my finger, but just closer towards the center, which is going to start to create that nice ombre effect on the lid. And then taking that number 9 brush, I'm going to just make sure that those shadows are super precise towards that cut crease. And then taking Sacred Heart, which is a coral sort of satin shade, I'm going to pack that onto the rest of the front of the lid using that same BH Cosmetics brush. After wetting my brush with a little bit of setting spray, I'm going to take that topper shade called Rapture, and I tried to pack that onto the lid, but it wasn't really working with the brush, so I ended up just using my finger, and still the intensity wasn't really all the way there, so I just kind of had to keep working with it and packing it on. And then I took an angled brush using a little bit of that brown shadow, and again with that number 9 brush to just make sure that that line is as precise as it possibly can be. For concealer today, I'm using my BH Cosmetics Studio Pro Concealer. It's just like Tarte Shape Tape, but a fraction of the cost. I'm in love with it, and I'm blending that out using a beauty blender. And then I'm just going to go ahead and set that using my Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder. Sorry guys, most of my product shots got deleted for this one. And then I'm going to sharpen up that edge there. Most of the times I will do the tape method for this, but I did my base first today, so this was just my preferred method. I really like this brush for creating a really sharp line. It's a Morphe M432. And then after that, I'm going to take this deep purple matte shade called Exorcism, and I'm going to start to smoke out my lower lash line with that. I'm using an Anastasia Beverly Hills brush for that. This is just one of the brushes that comes in their eyeshadow palettes. I'm not sure if it's sold separately, but I do love it a lot for smoking out the lower lash line. And then I'm just making sure that that edge of the eyeshadow is nice and precise once more, using a little bit of concealer. After that, I'm going to take the matte black shade in the palette called Sabbath, and I'm pretty much just going to use that as an eyeliner. I'm going to try to get that as close to the waterline as I can, and then I'm just going to build up some extra definition into that outer V. I really like these domed small shader brushes for adding an extra last minute definition without getting it all over the place. This one is a Morphe M168. And then taking the foiled golden yellow shade called Relic, I'm going to just put that in my inner corner. And then using my Urban Decay 24/7 waterline pencil in Perversion, I'm just going to go ahead and line my waterline. This is just a black eyeliner. And then for lashes today, I'm going to be using my Gems lashes by the Lash Firm. I love these lashes because they're super affordable, faux ink, and they're awesome. They look like I paid $30 for them when I think that I paid about $7, so that's awesome. For mascara today, I'm using Too Faced Better Than Sex and L'Oreal Telescopic, and for contour and bronzer, I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit in the shade light to medium. I'm just using the warmer shade in the hollows of my cheeks and across my forehead and a little bit on the chin. And then to contour, I'm using my Sephora Multitasker contour brush with that darker, cooler shade, and I'm just contouring the hollows of my cheeks. And then to clean up that contour, I'm going to go ahead and take the banana colored shade in that contour kit, and I'm just going to put that underneath my cheekbones to clean up that contour and make it look nice and snatched. And then I'm going to use my Mario Badescu facial spray with rose water, and I'm going to highlight using two of my favorite highlighters, Sun Glow and Afterglow by Milani. I'm just mixing those two, and I'm using a BH Cosmetics highlighter brush for that. Look at that highlight, you guys. It's blinding, and I think those are like $8 at Walmart, so it's awesome. And then I'm highlighting my nose with those highlighters as well. And then for blush, I'm going to use the shade Berry Amore, also by Milani. I fell in love with Luminoso, so I tried to pick up this darker one for this winter, and I'm in love. For lips, I'm going to be using Cheap Thrills by ColourPop, which is an ultra matte lip. I love this color for the winter. Honestly, it's a great shade for just whenever, but I really, really love these dusty purple colors for the winter, and I feel like it complements this look really well. And then I'm just cleaning up that lipstick using that same Morphe M432. And then I'm just going to go ahead and set my face using my favorite setting spray, which is the D-Slick Setting Spray by Urban Decay. And that's going to be the completed look. Alright guys, so this is going to be the finished look. I hope that you guys like it. I really do like this look a lot. I really, really do like how this palette performed, and I really like the look that I got. I might just have to wear this one again when I'm actually gonna go out and like see people and not just film a video and talk to myself in my room. But yeah, Kat, I think you did a great job with this palette. I don't know, I'm talking as if she's gonna see this, but a girl can dream. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this one, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe below this video if you aren't already. Make sure to also check out the down bar below for a list of every product that I used in this video, as well as links to all my social medias, so that we can be friends. And yeah, I think that's gonna do it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.